One of the things that your book does is goes over the idea of special right triangles in section 1, but I don't think they go into it deep enough that we're going to do it as a separate section. So your special right triangles, you have two of them. One is your 45, 45, 90 triangle, which is the bottom one, and your 30, 60, 90 triangle. I think that the 45, 45 is the easier of the two. Your opposite side lengths, since they're across from congruent angles, are the same, are going to be the same measure. And then to get from the leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by the square root of 2. If you want to go from the hypotenuse back to the leg, you divide by the square root of 2. And then for your 30, 60, 90 triangles, your favorite side length is always across from the 30-degree angle. That's your short side length. Once you know your short side length, you can either go to the long leg, which is taking it times the square root of 3, or you may go to the hypotenuse by multiplying by 2. So make sure that you always get your short side length, which is across from your 30-degree, and then you should be good to go. So I have a few examples of each. These are going to use your 45, 45, 90 triangles. So I'll draw those. I'll draw your special triangle in here. 45, 45, both legs are x. Your hypotenuse is x squared of 2. So looking at number 1, I want to find both A and B. Well, 2 square root of 2 represents a leg. I'm across from a 45-degree angle. This one also has to be 45. So B has to be the same thing. So it's going to be 2 square root of 2. To get your hypotenuse, now I'm going from a leg to the hypotenuse, like so. From a leg to the hypotenuse, we're going to multiply by the square root of 2. So 2 square root of 2 times the square root of 2 ends up being 2 square root of 4, which we know the square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, which is the value of A. The letter B, or number 2, excuse me, I want to find both X and Y. Hopefully you see that it's pretty similar to number 1. It's actually the same exact triangle, but just so that you can see the pattern of how this works. This time I give you 4, which is the hypotenuse. I gave you this. I'm asking you to go to the leg. So I'm going to take 4. You can go for X or Y, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to start with 4, and I'm going to divide by the square root of 2. I don't want square roots in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 1. Which in this case is square root of 2 over square root of 2, getting me 4 square root of 2 on top over the square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 we said is 2. Keep simplifying. 4 divided by 2 is 2 square root of 2. Since x is 2 square root of 2, and since I have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, y is also 2 square root of 2. That's your 45, 45. Next, we're going to go to the 30, 60, 90 triangle. Draw that relationship in here. 30, 60. This one's x. This is x squared of 3. This is 2x. I'm actually going to start with number 8. I want to solve for both u and v. And the thing that you need to ask yourself is, what side length do they give me? The short leg, the long leg, or the hypotenuse? In this case, I'm looking across from the 30-degree angle, so I know that 2 is the short leg, which is good for us. They gave me this side length. I can go either direction. If I go and I actually find the hypotenuse first, I'm going to multiply by 2. So I'm going from the 2 to the u. 2 times 2 gets us 4, which is your hypotenuse. And then if I want to go back from the short leg to the long leg, so 2 to v this time, I'm going to take 2 times the square root of 3, which is just 2 square root of 3. Now we're going to go back. We're going to do number 7. I want to solve for both x and y. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ask myself, what do they give me? In this case, they give me 16, which is the hypotenuse this time, which is, I'm going to erase all of this in here. There we go. Which is 2x this time. 16 represents 2x. And I know that I always need to get to the short leg. So to get from the hypotenuse to the short leg, I'm going to divide by 2. I got to get rid of the 2. So I'm going to take 16 divided by 2 to get me y, because that's the one that's across from the 30-degree angle. 16 divided by 2 gets me 8. And now that I know that this side length is 8, I can go to the long leg. 8 times the square root of 3 is 8 square root of 3.